No, almost every Christian today, alam nila itong verse na to, Jeremiah 29:11. Sabi, "For I know the thoughts that I think toward you, saith the Lord, thoughts of peace and not of evil, to give you an expected end." And yung verse na to, pag nag-scroll ka sa newsfeed mo, it always shows up. And usually, yung mga tao na nagko-quote nito, yung mga tao na dumadaan sa medyo may konting kahirapan, medyo bagay na hindi nila nagugustuhan sa buhay nila. And then they quote this verse. And most of the time, we quote a lot of verses wrongly. We try to treat God, tinatrato natin siya as like Superman or si Genie in a Bottle or si Santa Claus na para bang taga-grant ng wish natin, takapaganda ng buhay natin, when it's not like that. And I just want to help you out understanding these verses. First of all, this verse doesn't mean it's gonna get better now. Why? Basahin natin yung context ng verse. Verse number 9. "For they prophesy falsely unto you in my name. I have not sent them, saith the Lord." So look at the context of this verse. The context of this verse ay nasa exile ang mga tao, ang Jewish nation, ng Israel. And the Lord allowed them to be in exile. Why? Because of their disobedience. So this is God's judgment towards them. Now, meron mga prophet na nagsasabi sa kanila na don't worry, God will remove us from this situation soon enough. Pero ginamit ng Panginoon si Jeremiah to tell Israel, ano ba talaga mangyayari sa inyo dyan? Verse number 10, "For thus saith the Lord, that after how many years? 70 years. And I know, I have a plan for you. Tatanggalin ko kayo dyan. That's my promise. But not after 70 years. Kaya if you're going to read the beginning of the chapter, sabi ng Panginoon sa kanila, maghanap kayo ng asawa, magkaroon kayo ng pamilya, gumawa kayo ng bahay nyo dyan, be comfortable there, have a good testimony over there, because you're gonna stay there for 70 years. And sometimes we use this verse as, "Lord, I want to get better now." No. Sometimes ang kalooban ng Panginoon is for us not to get better. Sometimes ang kalooban ng Panginoon is for us not to or maybe wait for a longer time. And isa pa sa mga pagkakamali natin dito is thinking that the Lord will give us our plans. The Bible is very clear. This is that I know the thoughts that I think toward you. So it is God's thoughts. It is God's plan. And sometimes we're unfair. Pinlano na natin ang buhay natin, nilista na natin lahat ng pangarap natin. Lord, I want a good job. Lord, I want a nice house, a nice car. And Lord, I'm gonna give it to you. Ikaw nang bahala na tuparin yan. When that is not the way it works. It is God's plan. And what is God's plan for Israel? Kasama ng plano ng Panginoon sa Israel is to be in exile for 70 years. And maraming masama nangyari sa kanila doon. Maraming unfair nangyari sa kanila doon. Pero plano ng Panginoon yun eh. And that is God's plan. And if it's God's plan not to remove them from that place, yun ang mangyayari. You know, sometimes, ang pagkakamali natin is we take a verse, pipilasin natin siya sa context, and then apply natin sa sarili natin. When we do that, hindi natin na-realize we make ourselves the central theme of the Bible. That's not how it works. It is God who's the central theme of the Bible. It is His will. At kung anong kalooban niya sa buhay mo, mangyayari. And sometimes, meron tayong maling pag-iisip para bang ang gusto natin kalooban ng Panginoon sa akin ay magandang buhay, komportableng buhay, and all of these things. Napakamali po ng ganong klaseng pag-iisip, kapatid. Ang kalooban ng Panginoon sa buhay natin, it includes a lot of suffering. Look at the early believers sa Bible. Ang kalooban ng Panginoon for most of them ay magtago, maghirap, mamatay, a very brutal death. Imagine the death, beheaded, crucified upside down, hinahagi sila sa kumukulong oil, they were sawn asunder, and that is the will of God in their lives. And they humbly obeyed that and submitted to that. So today, kung ginagamit mo yung verse na ito just to I claim that the Lord will make my life better, you are using it the wrong way. First of all, it doesn't concern you, it concerns Israel. Meron pang ibang verses sa Bible that concerns us and the will of God sa buhay natin, but I just want to let you know today that the will of God may not be for us to get better, may not be for us to have a better situation or have a better life, but it is always for our good and always for His glory. Hindi man natin maintindihan why, but that is the will of God. That is the wisdom of God. Someday we'll understand, or maybe we'll understand today, but it is up to the Lord. So kung di mo naiintindihan, there are other verses. Next time we'll look at Romans 8:28 and 29 and see how it rightly applies to us. But Jeremiah 29:11, there are principles there, pero mali ang paggamit natin dyan, kapatid. Hopefully, this helps you.